This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, there are concerns facing the educational system in the country, and one of them will impact a sector of society as immigration officials move to enforce what is being described as an historic policy come this new school term. John Davis Roll has our top story.
The Minister of Education, the Honorable Jerome Fitzgerald, weighing in on the new immigration policy and the impact it will have on the education system in this country. The minister says the landmark initiative is designed to address a major issue plaguing the nation.
The government is resolute. I support the Minister of Immigration and the Immigration Department that our immigration laws must be enforced and adhered to. And part of that is ensuring that everyone who is in the country is documented and has the proper documentation to be in the country. And so that is bare minimum for any country. There's nothing new that we're doing here. Our laws are there. And so we expect between now and September, we've given everyone a lot of notice, we expect every child to be properly documented and present themselves when they come to school.
The education minister noted that is only one issue. He's advising persons affected to not procrastinate and to move swiftly to comply.
The challenge is when it comes to the financial side of it, the point I think the Prime Minister was making is that no child will be disenfranchised because of funding or because of money. But that's a separate point. The first point is making sure that you file your documents. Now, if there's a problem with the money part, then the government will intervene or look into it to make sure that money is not the factor that stops you from coming to school.
Minister Fitzgerald says the implementation of this new requirement is shining the light on yet another issue. This, as the education system is also being challenged on another front.
A number of Bahamian students who are in school whose parents or mother has not registered their birth and they don't have a birth certificate. And we don't realize this until they go for a passport or they're trying to get off to go to school or something. And there's a challenge because 18 years ago the mother didn't register the birth. And so we are now also using it as a mechanism to ensure that all students, all children of the Bahamas are properly registered and have the right documents in place. And so again, I'm urging parents, Bahamian parents as well, mothers who have not gone and registered their child to get a birth certificate to go and do so as well and present those, because we'll be asking for those as well.
John Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
Well, the government continuing its focus on food production and security. The introduction of BAMSI and Andros is expected to put a dent in the large amount of food that the country imports each year. Tonight, Sabrina Brown tells us that more young people are getting involved in the industry.
The Bahamas imports around $1 billion worth of food annually, and that's why Executive Chairman of the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, Dion Smith, says the government is trying to get more Bahamians to tap into that lucrative market. As the government develops the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, BAMSI, Smith says there now appears to be a growing interest in this sector among young people.
When we taught BAMSI, the director of the program was indicating how it used to be persons in the 60s that used to want to be farmers, but now we have students as young as 16 that are interested in being farmers. What happens is there seems to be a gap, and it's a financial gap.
Smith says there is a concern that it takes a lot of capital to be successful in farming, and the government is now focusing on helping young people who want to start a farming business.
We now find ways to help young persons who may not have the capital come up with the capital and have a successful business. See, what happens is if a person doesn't see success at the end of the day, then they don't really want to start the program in the beginning. But we want to show now that a young person driving a BMW or a Mercedes, walks out and he goes into his office at his farm. Show that it can be done.
Minister for Grand Bahama Dr. Michael Darville says over the past year, his ministry has been working closely with the Ministry of Education to develop an agricultural cadet program.
This Agricultural Cadet Corps is a program that will in our view, be the feeder program necessary to ensure that our agricultural specialists as well as farmers are generated from the island of Grand Bahama. We are convinced that Grand Bahama has the ability to be very effective in food production for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And we intend from the Ministry for Grand Bahama through the Minister of Agriculture to work very closely with BAIC to develop the technical team necessary in order for us to accomplish this goal and objectives.
He says students from Grand Bahama are now being recruited to be a part of BAMSI in Andros.
That particular recruitment process is going very well, and many of our young people who are interested in agricultural science are capitalizing on the opportunities that will be available at BAMSI. As you are aware, Grand Bahama, Abaco, islands that have been earmarked for major agricultural and maritime as well as maricultural projects. And we look forward to working very closely with BAIC and the technical team from BAIC as we develop these programs.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Well, Grand Bahama's healthcare system could be in critical condition. Reports reaching our newsroom say the ambulance department is suffering from a serious shortage of vehicles. We have been reliably informed that one ambulance is in operation to service the entire island, and a Grand Bahama Health Services van is reportedly being used as a backup vehicle. Now, ZNS News contacted the Rand Memorial Hospital's administrator, Sharon Williams, who confirmed that 3 emergency vehicles are down. She says mechanics are working diligently to have them up and running by tomorrow. In the meantime, she says the hospital has gotten the assistance of the various agencies with ambulance services. However, she notes that the health services vehicle is being utilized to assess and stabilize patients until an emergency vehicle is available. Now, the hospital administrator says the health services will respond to all emergency situations. And authorities in Abaco are investigating the death of an American male on board a cruise ship yesterday. Abaco police on Castaway Key learned shortly after 7 o'clock yesterday morning that a 56-year-old man of Cleveland, Ohio, reportedly died on the cruise ship. Police in Abaco appeal to the public for any information that can assist them with this case. You're asked to contact 350-3107 or 8-911-919 or call your nearest police station. And police in Grand Bahama are investigating 2 armed robberies that occurred over the weekend. The first incident occurred after 7 p.m. on Sunday. Police received information that a business establishment located on Pioneers Way was held up and robbed by a lone gunman who was described as having dreadlocks and wearing an orange or red coverall. The second incident occurred on Sunday evening before 8 p.m. Police received information that a male, while in the Vaseline area, was reportedly robbed of his gold 2000 Chevy Malibu vehicle by a gunman who was described as wearing a dark-colored hoodie with an orange coverall. Now, the 2000 gold Chevy Malibu vehicle was later recovered by police. The police on the beat Friday night in what has been dubbed Operation Snatchback. It was an initiative by officers to combat crime on the streets. Our Kimberly Mullings has the details.
Operation Snatchback kicked in Friday evening. Press Liaison Officer Inspector Teresita Pinder says the main focus of the operation is to show a strong police presence on Grand Bahama.
We are here and we are in charge of our streets, and we are going to target all prolific offenders, and we are going to target all those persons in regards who are in breach of our Road Traffic Act. We are also enforcing our vehicle stop and search methods.
Inspector Pinder says the stop and search method has proven beneficial. She notes police were present at all major roads and intersections on the island in an effort to ensure laws are obeyed.
We have persons who drive around looking for crimes of opportunity, and sometimes in those vehicles you may find, you may not know what you may find, but persons may not know that we are out here. So this is a chance now we could do a vehicle stop and search and catch them by the element of surprise.
Inspector Pinder says police are on the lookout for traffic infractions. They will also target specific vehicles and persons who have outstanding warrants.
Thus far, we've seen a number of traffic offenses, such as, the normal one, such as dark tints, unlicensed vehicles. Persons are still not wearing their seatbelts, and we are encouraging persons to please wear their seatbelt.
Pinder says the police force is pleased that Grand Bahamians have been very supportive of the police's efforts on the island and hopes it continues.
We know that we have the support of the Grand Palmer community, and we know that we are working together with the Grand Palmer community, and the Grand Palmer community is working together with us.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Kimberly. Well, members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force worshiping this past Sunday. Megan Shepard has the story.
Members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Northern District coming together on Sunday for worship. Officer in charge of the North, ACP Emrick Seymour, noting that the initiative was implemented to bring officers together every quarter to visit churches throughout the island. Seymour adds that officers are the barrier between law and lawlessness as they play an important role in the community.
Notwithstanding they are police officers, law enforcement, they are in fact God's servants among us, among you, among the population, carrying out the will of God in the community. And so we don't take these duties, we don't take our duties and responsibilities lightly. It's very challenging. Every day it's a challenge. Every single day God sent is a challenge for us. And so we cannot do it on our own.
Pastor of Freeport Gospel Hartley Thompson welcoming the officers and ensuring them that they are constantly covered in prayers as they carry out their duties.
And I can say with all sincerity that we pray for you daily as we do for others in authority. That is an admonition of Holy Scriptures. Pray for those in authority. And so we seek to carry out that mandate.
Pastor Thompson also preaching on the power of the name Jesus. He says he is the center of the Bible and of the universe. Thompson then added that we must accept Jesus into our lives to have eternal life.
Do you know that God has ordained a day in which he will judge this world in righteousness, and the judgment will be executed by the Son? Because the Father has committed all judgment unto the Son. And when you are exposed to the gospel, you should open your heart and receive the meek and engrafted word, which is able to make you wise unto salvation. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is no other name under heaven given among men whereby you must be saved.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A local public school is celebrating a major achievement. Sabrina Brown has the details.
They are the future ambassadors for the tourism industry, and officials at the Jack Hayward High School are working hard to ensure they are well prepared to take the country's #1 sector to the next level. 15 students of the hospitality program recently received an international certification in the field. Instructor Gailey Williams.
It's a customer service-oriented program that is recognized internationally across the world through the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute. So we're very proud and happy that our students are able to take advantage of it.
Head of the Hospitality Department, Janet Forbes-Dean, is proud of the students' accomplishments.
This program speaks volumes to our students, especially the students who are in grade 12, because they are leaving school in a couple months and they would have some certification in their hands that state that they are qualified per se when it comes to customer service.
Participants Elena Valmy and DeAndre Forbes believe the international certification is a vital component as they prepare for their careers in the hospitality industry.
If I go to establishment, I tell them that I have the certificate. I feel like I'm a step further than others.
It gives me, it makes me viable against other persons out there, especially adults who are working in the industry. I have sort of a leverage, so it feels rather rewarding. Also scoring the highest in the class too as well.
The students make up the second group from the Jack Hayward High School to obtain the international certification. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Sabrina. Well, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Cultural Affairs Division hosted its 2014 E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival Awards presentation on Thursday at the Hilton Alton Convention Center. The festival was most successful in terms of participation, with just under 20,000 entrants in all of the islands. The Assistant Director of Culture, Edison Dames, congratulated all students and he encouraged them to keep the Bahamian culture alive.
I also would like to congratulate all of the parents who have taken time out to nurture in their children the will and the desire to keep rooted in our culture. I take my hats off to all of those teachers who spend many hours in ensuring that these art forms are protected and nurtured and developed. For the principals, I take my hat off to them and encourage them to continue with us, particularly within the Ministry of Education, to ensure that this program survives no matter where the program may transition.
Now, over 200 students were in attendance, and they were very entertained by the singing and dance presentations done by various schools on the island.
And you look at the hours of practice to get kids to sing and dance and recite and perform at this level. It's amazing. And Grand Bahama leads the way in this national demonstration of our students' talent. We're above the 60% of the entire nation in terms of the winnings. And so that speaks volumes for the work that we have done over the years.
Now, the 2015 E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival will be held on March 3rd to the 13th at the Grand Lucine Resort, and admission is free. Stay with us, Ricardo Lightborn as a check on sports when we return.
Everybody, welcome to Sports. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. The Grand Bahama Women's Soccer League is now a reality. Sunday was very historic.
Very much. Okay.
The Grand Bahama Women's Soccer League is a reality, and on Sunday, the Freeport Rugby Club was the official opening of the Women's Premier League. The rental support is extremely high and rewarding for the players. Chelsea huddle, and they're going over the game plan. Barcelona going through their drills and getting loose for that showdown. Coach Theodore Hudson says it's a reality and he's excited.
We're very excited. I mean, come think of it, this is a Champions League, and the entire setup, the fact that you have these girls uniformed, they're well outfitted, they're ready, they're excited. We've gotten some good training in. We have an excellent captain there, Mia Wiley, and I think we're going to do excellent this year.
Coach Michael Dos Santos was chopping at the bit to see his Chelsea team in action. It was an exciting time for women's soccer on Grand Bahama.
I'm excited way before this. From the time the league was put in place for us to have a women's league, I was excited. So today I'm extremely excited to see that this has been materialized into the actual game of itself. And we have the first game against Barcelona. We're not going to be too complacent and underestimate them, but we're going to go out for a victory today.
The official start of women's games is the ceremonial march on the field led by the officials. The customary congratulations by the players. And after all the formality, it was time for soccer, and what a game between Chelsea and Barcelona. Chelsea with the ball. Watch the good shot here. This one is going to be a floater by Hannah Joy Sims. It'll get by the goalie. That is the first goal of the new soccer season. Chelsea was not done. Watch the good passing here. Sims with a shuttle to Hannah Albury. She gets the goal, and a 3-2 win for Chelsea. Barcelona, Carly McBride and Avia Bartlett also getting some goals in this one. Both teams played a pretty good game. Marissa Doutman also win on Sunday. Gabrielle and Abigail Summers also scoring a goal each against Real Madrid. A tough loss, 2-0, and Real Madrid says it's just a setback. They'll be ready for the rest of the season. Now, the Women's Soccer League was a breath of fresh air on Sunday. The girls' soccer players' parents are all marveled at the effort that was put into the league, and a reality determined by the planners. You see, the league is going to provide an avenue for younger players to develop, and having senior players on each of the team and also some leadership, that sits well with Mary Knowles on opening day.
Very emotional to see all the parents and the kids out.
It's a wonderful thing. It was a dream of my husband, Donnie. I'm sorry his brother died. He isn't here to witness it today, but he'll be back next week. We're hopefully it'll be for many years to come.
Well, I know for these girls, long overdue, excitement. The little ones now have somewhere to go. That's what you've been pushing for a long time.
Yes, we said at the beginning when I spoke to you in September we were going to have a women's league this year. This year the majority of them are youth players, 2 women per team at the moment. But it will eventually get there, and we want a quality play, so we're going to use our youth for now. But it's a reality. It's happened. Parents are excited. Refs are excited. Coaches are training every night. It's something to do in Grand Bahama.
Oh, what a wonderful Sunday it was with those folks out there. The Grand Bahama Amateur Softball Association elections also were held, and the annual general meeting as well. Let me tell you, they were at the Susan Wallace Center. And guess what? Softball legend George Mills is the new elected president. Jamal Green will serve as the vice president. Martha Edgecombe is your secretary, assistant secretary. Well, that is going to be Stephanie Higgs. The fast pitch chairman is Gwen Simonet Pinder. The slow pitch chairman is none other than Eric Ballou Sr. Junior development will be in Natasha Bainhan. I want to say congratulations to all the executives. Hopefully you guys can get softball on the right foot, or put it this way, a better glove. That's a look at sports today.